Happy New Year. I am a little under the weather, but I wanted to do this tag. I am doing the Unofficial Garage Rock Vinyl Tag 2025, put on by George. He's got a YouTube channel, Blockhead2982. I'll put a link to his questions in the description. His first question: show an album from 1965. Show a garage album from 1965. Oh, the Wailers. George is from Tacoma, Washington, which is in Pierce County, Washington, and I grew up in Pierce County. And so I'm going to keep these answers to the Northwest. So this is the Wailers from 1965. This is Out of Our Tree. This is not Tall Cool One Wailers that did here in 1959. This is really cool garage stuff. This has got some really good covers. Mercy Mercy, Hang On Sloopy, Unchained Melody, and they've got a bunch of their own tracks. Really good. This is actually a 1987 reissue of the 1965 album because I can't find this. The original one. It duplicates the red etiquette label, but yeah, I cannot find Out of Our Tree, an original one. Okay. Show a garage revival album. Okay, I can do that. 1988's Dead Moon. Dead Moon's from Portland, Oregon. This is their first album. Dead Moon probably had 8 or 9 albums. They're very garage. And actually, Fred Cole, I don't know if, would you consider this a garage revival album? Fred Cole was doing garage in the 60s. This is on his label, Tombstone Records. This is an original from 1988. In the Graveyard. Really good songs. Graveyard, Parchment Farm. Really interesting version of Hey Joe. And this is garage revival, but he was doing garage since the 60s. His first band when he lived in Vegas was The Weeds. And here is the single of The Weeds, It's Your Time, with the B-side, Little Girl. Really cool garage. The band name would go into, it would switch to the Lollipop Shop when they moved to San Francisco and then Portland. But great garage. Okay. Show a garage comp. Okay. This is 1968's Battle of the Bands. This is on the Panorama label. This is a Seattle label. Really cool. This is Battle of the Bands in the Northwest and elsewhere around the country. Radio stations would have Battle of the Bands, and the winner would record a single or get on a compilation. So this has all the good Seattle bands of the time. The Springfield Rifle, Dawn of the Good Times, the Kingsmen, the Sonics, the Bards, the Wailers, the Bumps, the Live 5, London Taxi, Brave New World, Magic Fern, PH Factor, the Galaxies, the Plums. Most of these bands had one single or two singles, and they're hard to come by, but you get them in these comps. This came on the green Panorama label. And with that, I've got a few other compilations. This came out in 1966. This is the Northwest Collection, Volume 1. This is Etiquette's own compilation where they had bands from their label, the Wailers, the Sonics, the Galaxies, Gail Harris, Marilyn Lodge, Robin Roberts. All these were on the Etiquette label. Etiquette was founded by members of the Wailers, And so when you look at this particular comp, the whole first, many of the songs are Whaler songs, and Sonics have 3 songs, but the Sonics tracks on this are the best. It's on that purple 66 Etiquette label. Another compilation. This came out in 76, The History of Northwest Rock, Volume 4. This is another one just like that, but it's great. It has different information about each band. It's got the Sonics, the Bandits, Dawn and the Good Times, the Barge, the Dynamics, all Northwest bands, and it gives you a little snippet of where they're from, like the count. It's great. These are cheap. They're easy to get in the Northwest. George, if you don't have these, definitely pick them up. They also have CDs, Battle of the Bands, Psychedelic Seattle. Really good. There's lots of good comps of these 7-inch singles. Okay. Oh, and actually, I have one more. This is the Northwest Battle of the Bands, Volume 1, Flash and Crash. This came out in 2000. Again, all Northwest bands. The Sonics, the Counts, Rocky and the Bandits, the Trolleys, a lot of bands I have never heard of, all from the Northwest. And I love these comps when they go into detail and talk about them. The Barge from Moses Lake, the Counts from Ballard, the Bandits from Mercer Island. I mean, it's really, really cool information. Okay, next question. Show a garage rock 45. Okay. First one I'm going to show is arguably the first garage single. The Whalers, Tall Cool One. This is from 1959. This is on the Golden Crest record label, and then it would be reissued many times on other ones, but this is instrumental, Tall Cool One. The B-side is Roadrunner. I finally got it. I've got a few of these, really crappy condition. So that's what the first garage single, maybe. I do have a couple other ones. In 1964, the Sonics did The Witch. This came out, I think, November in 1964. The B-side, Keep It Knockin'. But 6 months later, they would put out their first album on Etiquette. Really cool Etiquette label. There's a couple obscure ones. This is the Chamberman. The Chamberman, do I get to focus? I don't get to focus there. The Chamberman, they're from Spokane. This is 1966. They won Battle of the Bands, and by winning that, they are able to drive over the pass to Seattle and record. They recorded this one single, Louie Go Home. It's like not a take on Louie Louie, but a response to Louie Louie. And then the cover, Midnight Hour. But Louie Go Home, really cool garage from Spokane, but they did this one single, and they never had a single after that. Really hard to get, really nice. And the last 45, similar to the Chamberman, is the Scepters. The Scepters were from Spokane in 1967. They won that year's Battle of the Bands, so they then came over to the mountain pass to Seattle and recorded. This is I Need Her with the B-side, I Can't Make It. you'll find this single on a few of the comps. I don't think any of the comps I've shown, but I know I've got at least 2 compilations with the Scepters on it. Okay. Show a live garage album. Okay. In 2001, this came out, the Savage Young Sonics. So the Sonics were actually a band started in 61. They played 61, 62, 63, 64. Their first LP didn't come out until 65, but they were a working band. They worked alongside the Wailers. They played with the Wailers a lot while the Wailers were popular. They opened for the Wailers. They covered Wailer songs. And this is recordings done by one of the band members' dads. And this is bits of live performances. They would play teen dance halls, and the recordings were by one of the members' dads, and then a few of performances on like radio shows. This is Norton Records. This was a 2001 pressing. The next one I've got is another live garage album. This is 1986. Sonics Live Fans Only. This was original on Etiquette. This is live in Salem, Oregon, 1966. And their last performance as a band until they reunited many years later in 1972 at the Paramount Theater. Salem and Seattle, Washington on the red Etiquette label when this was reissued. And I've got one more. This is Busybody. Song came out in 2007. This is live in 1964 before their album came out. And this was 2 different radio shows. 2 different radio shows. Live at the Red Carpet, which was like a dance club in Tacoma, and live at the Tacoma Sports Arena. So what you see, they're playing Tall Cool One, Going Back to Granny's. So they're covering Wailers and Dawn of the Good Times and some of their own songs. They play The Witch. Really interesting historical document. Another Norton reissue. Okay. The last question. Show a garage rock reissue. I don't know where I put it. I don't have it here with me. Okay, well, it was the Sonic Boom, Norton's 1998 Sonic Boom. And what's cool about that album is just the liner notes. The regular 1966 pressing of Sonic Boom just has the song titles and some credits, but the Norton reissue goes into detail about the tracks and just a lot of depth about the band. And so one thing that I don't know if you know, George, do you know Jeannie Delesticio? She did the photographs of all the early Northwest rock bands. I'm going to have a hard time showing, but like the Sonics, like Charles Peterson was to grunge that she was to the Sonics and to the Wailers. She knew the bands. So the first couple albums of the Sonics, she did those photos. She did Dawn of the Good Times, more Sonics. It's early Sonics right there, and Sonics right there. It's a really cool book. She signed it. George, I suggest you're a big Northwest Seattle fan, Northwest fan, so get this book. I got this at Georgetown Records this past summer. I know it's sold out, but I'm sure you could probably get it. Okay, that's it. That is my unofficial Garage Rock Vinyl Tag 2025. Thank you, George, for putting those questions together. That was fun. Happy New Year.